pick up to stream.
Okay, well, cool. Well, we're in the building.
All right.
So welcome to the 4-1 Sportsworld Fantasy Football Show. I'm Mr. 4-1, and he's the calculator. What's going on, calculator?
Greetings and salutations, Mr. For One. Glad to be back. Hey, I'm glad to be back because, now I can actually concentrate. When you're on vacation for a while, sometimes, believe it or not, football isn't at the forefront of your thing, so things could get lacking. I kind of saw that in a lot of my players' performances this week when I got back. It's like, man, all my guys, they decided to take vacations when I
Oh,
needed
man,
them.
they decided to go with you, man.
Yeah, it was like, man, it's like, golly, I didn't know they were taking vacations too. But I'm sure we'll talk about that because when we do studs and duds, I think this one's going to be a lot of duds. It's just a low scoring week in general. Very few people just popped off.
Yeah, it was just a crazy week, man. Crazy
Crazy.
week.
Yes.
But yeah, we thank everybody to the show. And without further ado, we're going to get ready to rock and roll. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Yes, 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 yes. Welcome to the 411 Sports World Fantasy Football Show. Before we get rolling with the league news and notes, please do the following for us.
Subscribe, like, notify. It's pretty simple, but hey, it's all necessary because we want to. Waiver wires is going to be right around the corner, and you don't want to be left out.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get into it. League news calculator. Here we go. Kenny Pickett, man, concussion, took a hit on a deep pass, and man, and he's down there. He got slammed to the turf. It's tough, man. The young man just got his break and seemed to be doing pretty good for himself.
Yeah, I mean he led the Pittsburgh on that first drive of the game right down the field
Yeah,
against that Tampa Bay defense.
yeah, man. But welcome to the NFL, Kenny Pickett. That's what happens with the big boys.
And
Skylar Thompson.
yeah. Oh, and just one more thing was before we go to let people know. A lot of times and I want to say the old NFL pre Tua Tagovailoa
Yeah.
concussion. He might have said, if he'd have got the day of the week right, they'd have said, okay, you can go back in.
Oh
But
yeah.
now it's almost like they don't even ask you questions; they just automatically send you to the locker room. So yeah,
Well,
very, very. When you get a concussion, it's lights out pretty much the rest of the game. So but yeah, but the good news is for Pickett, he's never had one in college, so that is actually a good thing for recovery time.
yes, sir. And speaking of concussions, right? Tua, and you mentioned him earlier,
Mm-hmm.
Tagliova. He was out with a concussion, but Teddy Bridgewater went out with a concussion as well. And then Skylar Thompson had got the start, right?
Yeah,
Against the Vikings. But guess what? Now he's down with a
yeah,
hand injury.
and Bridgewater, who was under concussion protocol, was automatically cleared to say, okay, you're our backup
Miracle.
quarterback. And then he comes back and starts throwing the ball. So, it was definitely something. But yeah, I mean, Skylar Thompson, for everybody who was, hoping for a breakout for Skylar Thompson with all those weapons, didn't get him for very long. And then the people that had Teddy Bridgewater 2 weeks ago,
Yes.
doesn't get the fruits of his labors when he was going in there throwing for 329 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Wow, man.
But
Oh
word on the
man.
street, Tua's back. They said he is expected to start week 7 against the Steelers.
Ooh,
So, fire
ooh.
him up.
Wow. Against the Steelers. Okay, well, we'll
Well,
see.
we'll set a TJ Watt list Steelers as well,
Yeah.
So do an ad
Man, I
that.
have to start calling Miami the Miami Mash Unit, man.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, but you know how they had the Miami pound machine way back in the days with the defense, but they're getting pounded at the quarterback position. Um, look, check this out, calculator, and this will tie into the waiver wires in down the line. But I picked up Deion Jackson because there were so many injuries at the running back
Oh,
position.
trust me, Mr. Calculator. We'll in a future segment. I will definitely talk
Okay.
about that. But that was a great pickup on your part.
Oh, well, thank you. But Deion Jackson, man, look, had a great opportunity to play some football. Was totaling a whole bunch of yards. I think about 121 yards. Had a decent amount of carries and catches, which
Catches,
is
10
a
catches.
great thing. Yeah. How about this? He goes down with an injury.
Yeah.
So another opportunity there, just like we just talked about with Pickett, for the young man to get on the field and then goes down with the injuries. This is the NFL.
Hmm. But yeah, I mean, but all those Deion Jackson owners, I mean, getting almost 30 points from almost for basically a half of football
Yeah.
wasn't too upset. I mean, Matt Ryan, it was check down Charlie all game long, and Deion Jackson was the recipient. Just imagine if somebody like Naheem Hines had played in that game. I mean, a
Woo.
pass catching specialist just getting all those check downs, and it would have been a huge game. But yeah, if it wasn't for that injury, I mean, Deion Jackson was looking, he was on his way to 40, 50 points just from the receptions. And I mean, 12 carries and 120 yards alone. I mean, he was
That's an
gashing.
excellent day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a half, you know,
Yeah.
but the good thing is well, it doesn't seem like it's a serious injury with it being a quad injury. It's just that, Indianapolis, again, they're, playing it cautious because I fully expect Jonathan Taylor to be back next week, just from his, his ankle injury because everything thought that he was going to be back this week.
Yeah.
That's why he was out that Thursday night game to give him extra rest. But they said, hey, we're going to, because it's not a high ankle sprain, it's a lower ankle sprain. So more of, just giving him that extra rest.
I tell you what,
So,
man.
and I think
I
Naheem
bet you.
Hines, he'll be back from a concussion as well. So, yeah, all those Deion Jackson owners, congratulations. Keep them on the bench because you do never know. Like I said, thought Jonathan Taylor was going to be back last week, was so definitely don't cut him, but
Yeah.
more of a wait and see approach.
Well, I tell you what, calculator. I bet you. The start Jonathan Taylor. Wish he was there this week.
Oh, I know. Yeah, you had Deion Jackson against me in our matchup, and I had Jonathan Taylor on the bench with the O by
Oh
his
man,
name. Yeah.
that's some information I didn't even know. I
Yeah,
didn't
okay.
realize.
Well,
But
like
hey,
I said, yeah, I was looking at it all weekend.
man, I tell you what. Everybody gets lucky from time to time. But
Hey.
check this out, man. Let's go back to Miami.
Oh yeah.
More injuries in Miami. Oh man, Jalen Waddle, receiver, having a good season, man, and had a great game. But
Yeah.
he had a costly fumble in the game,
Mhm.
but he suffered an injury of late in the game as well. So what's going on there?
Nothing much, but everything is well. The coaches had no comment, but when they asked Jalen Waddle about the injury, he said, "Hey, I feel good." So I think he'll be back again next week, and if he's in there with Tua, you definitely But again, that's why we say monitor the practice reports, monitor the questionable tag, because a Q could come O, yeah, real quick in fantasy football. So, but everything points to him being back next week,
Yes, sir.
and good to go.
Okay. Another wide receiver, Randall Cobb. You don't want to see this happen to wide receivers, and you don't want to hear ankles and X-rays calculator.
Yes, yes, those two when they go hand in hand could be a bad thing. However, the word out of camp is high ankle sprain. So that's 4 to 6 weeks, or in case of somebody like Michael Thomas, 2 years. But, Randall
Yeah.
Cobb
Yeah.
could come back 4 to 6 weeks because they really need a veteran presence because things are not going good in Green Bay.
Man, tell me about it. We'll be talking about that on the Sports Brothers show tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, about the state of the Packers.
Hmm.
Um, man, it's getting ugly over there. Cameron Brake, tight end over there in Tampa Bay. You don't ever want to hear this either. We already don't like to hear concussion, but then you add neck to it.
Neck,
So what's
yeah.
going on?
Yeah, just add Peyton Manning to a person who suffered neck injuries and was out again for a whole year for precautionary purposes. Of course, Peyton Manning was a franchise type player. Cameron Braid is a fill in. And when there's a fill in, although his backup that his name starts with an O. He escapes my memory right off. I pass Otten, I think. He's
Yeah.
actually a capable fill in at the tight end position. So. We'll be talking about the bye weeks for some people coming up. That the backup for a tight end that Brady showed trust in just 2 weeks ago could be a guy that you might want to put your trust in as a streaming tight end, because if his name's not Mark Andrews and if his name's not Travis Kelsey, it's hit and miss. Because you still have your Kittles and Wallers who are big names, and but even T.J. Hawkinson, who has 40 points against me when you're playing me for Lacy one time, and then he gets a 0 the next week.
Yeah.
So kind of that's just par for the course. But yes, your tight end people, Cameron Brate's backup, he should be available. Because I think as soon as Brate was marked as available, I actually had 3 leagues where he was dropped when Brate got the start at last minute. So hey, if the team dropped him and you're in tight end purgatory, so to speak, I think he's a great guy you can fire up.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that's our injuries, and
Well,
we come
one
back.
more,
Oh,
Mr. Pro One. I apologize to the people. This came in our production meeting after we had always went to print, but I do have an update on Marquise Brown.
oh
For all
yeah.
those,
What's going on
yes,
there?
yes, he suffered. They thought it was a year-ending injury, so that's when went for X-rays for his foot. Come find out, we just got this right after our production meeting that it looks to be a 6-week injury.
Okay.
So he should be back. It's not a year ender for now. Like I said, things could change. All things could always change. I mean, they could be out, and it looks like they could be out of the playoff race by then, and they'll say, "Hey, we'll just give them the whole year." So this is something to be looked at. But it's 6 weeks. If you looking at your ahead, that's right before the fantasy playoffs. So keep an eye on that. DeAndre Hopkins will be back by that time. Robbie Anderson, who some news, was traded to the Cardinals earlier today. Now, is that a sign to go and pick up Robbie Anderson if you need help? And you might need help when I tell you what teams are on the bye this week. Well, although a lot of people are probably Robbie Anderson's probably not available, so I should say that. But if he is, in shallow leagues, but I wouldn't pick him up and I wouldn't play him even if he was on my team. I just don't like coming into a new system right away and DeAndre Hopkins coming back, Rondale Moore being healthy, Dortch. He knows the system, so I think Robbie Anderson was strictly a fill-in for depth, since DeAndre Hopkins will be coming back. So it's one of those things that, hey, if somebody else gets hurt, then they'll have Robbie Anderson. So personally, if you want me to be honest with you, he might actually be a drop candidate going to the Cardinals. I would not get happy for something like this for the mere fact he's going from being the number 2 receiver in a bad offense, and I hate to say it, the Cardinals are a bad offense right now as well. I
Oh
mean, I don't
wow.
know what's going on. Yeah, I mean, against Seattle, they look pedestrian, and he's going to what could be the 3rd, 4th option. Oh heck, Zach Ertz. I mean, he's going to get more targets than Robbie Anderson. So that's one of those. If you have Robbie Anderson and you need help with these bye weeks coming up, might want to look elsewhere, because I hate to carry dead weight during these bye weeks coming up.
Absolutely, calculator. Oh man. So with all this information that's being given right now, uh, definitely soak it in. Like you said, Kyra, we're going to talk about these bye weeks, and we have some other stuff going on. But we'll take a moment here to talk about our sponsor.
Absolutely.
All right, Heavenly Spa Mobile, 2484 Ingleside Avenue, Building A, Suite 101-A, Macon, Georgia, 31204. Latanya can be reached at 478-747-9231. That's 478-747-9231. Heavenly Spa Mobile, where relaxation is what, calculator?
It's key. It is
It's the
the
key. That's right. Okay. And so we have other programming that you need to tune into this week. This upcoming Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in for Triple Option, our college football talk show with Zach, Orion, Coy, Mr. 4-1. We're going to talk about the college coach that no one's talking about. So be ready for that.
And Mr. 401, that's also good. That's good information for people that do enjoy friendly wagers, because everything from coaches to acts of God affect friendly wagers.
Absolutely, calculator. Great point. And guess what? That segues right into on Thursday at 6 p.m. Check out the calculator. It's going to talk about the Week 8 NCAA, Week 7 NFL picks, and also Dr. Sachs will provide information as well. So be ready for that on this Thursday, 6 p.m.
And what's always working? It's the Dr. Sachs algorithm is always working and updated constantly. So, get ready for what Dr. Sachs and his algorithm spits out this week.
Absolutely. Let's jump into the let's go to the studs and duds calculator. It's time for that. All right. So we're gonna get into the studs and duds for this week. And man, were there a few studs? Yeah, there were some studs this week. And so let's throw a couple of them on the board, and then I'll let you have at it, calculator.
Absolutely. I heard a nice name. But of course, I'm seeing a lot of games. A lot of people I was playing against for such a low scoring week. It's like, how did I play all these guys this week in all my leagues? And heck, Brandon Ayuk came out of witness protection, 2 touchdowns. Granted, it was against the Falcons, but hey, you don't care who it against. Just if you get it, And like I said, bye weeks. These are guys that can carry you through the bye weeks. Tyreek Hill, it shows him backup quarterback, no problem. Stephon Diggs still does what he does, which is get open and catch touchdowns no matter. It's crazy. They were actually trying to bracket Stephon Diggs they were playing that 2 deep safeties, and he was just breaking that 2 deep zone. It was great to see if you're a Stephon Diggs owner, not if you're playing against them. Jamar Chase returned home to the Bayou and put on a show for all his family and friends, and basically showed that, and that's with T. Higgins on the field. That's with Tyler Boyd on the field. They show Joe Burrow. If Jamar Chase has a big game, a lot of times that means Joe Burrow has a big game. But if you watch that, what was amazing was the way Joe Burrow, he was still under pressure pretty much the whole game, but he was playing a lot of the Houdini acts going on, and that's how he got that rushing touchdown. People, if you're going to rush, you cannot just play man-to-man and just not carry everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because that leaves it wide open if the guy can escape. And that's what he did, right up the middle, right for a touchdown. So, but welcome back, Joe Burrow. Welcome back, Jamar Chase. It is nice to see you on the stud list. Another stud was a list that I heard a nice little name for him was Brees Lightning.
Yes.
The guy from Brees Hall. It looks like his time has come. 2 back-to-back big games, burst, breaking tackles. The Jets look pretty good to me, Mr. 411.
Yeah. They look like they're going to be in the playoffs this year. Yes. They look like they're for real this year.
Yeah, the telling tale will be when they play a team like New England, a good defense with a good coach. Because another thing that the Jets are is they're young. So that's what I like. It's going to be fun to see how they go up against more experienced teams. But you would have thought a Green Bay Packers would have been an experienced team, right? But hey, all is good with the Jets this year so far. That's why I wish Lacy was on. I was going to see how giddy she was for today's game. Unfortunately, Lacy, hope you get better. She's under the weather right now. So, but hey, the Jets, I'm sure, will help her recover quickly from giving her happiness.
Yeah, we should send her we should send her a Klecko poster.
She loves some Klecko.
Yeah, we'll send her a poster of Klecko. Maybe that'll
Mark Gastineau. Don't forget, she loves some Mark Gastineau too. She loved the sack dance.
Or some Mike, or we'll do that on some old.
Yeah, because remember she said Joe Flacco, meaning Joe Klecko, because that got Professor Sachs and got a little laugh after him when he said she said Joe Flacco. She meant Joe Klecko.
Well, yep. Well, Lacy, we hope you get back to speedy recovery because we need you out here.
Absolutely,
need you out here with us. make everything complete. All right. On that note, let's talk about some duds, calculator.
Oh, uh, let me see. Okay, Aaron Jones is on 2 of my teams. DK Metcalf is on 3 of my teams. I was reading a lot of guys that are on my team, Mister 411, and that's why yours truly had a losses in quite a few leagues this week. Hey, Jeff Wilson Jr. is not on any of my teams, and I was on this show. I said I do not trust Mike Shanahan because what does he do? He goes out and he signs Tevin Coleman to
Yes.
get in the backfield and do absolutely nothing. But Tyler Higbee, a lot of people, hey, you get what you deserve when you pick up Tyler Higbee because he had a phenomenal return on investment because he was a free agent tight end pickup that was carrying you week to week. So we knew the time would come when they actually said, "Oh, Allen Robinson is on our team. Let's throw to him now." So that kind of affected Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee and Allen Robinson are, kind of like that positive, negative type deal. They just oil and vinegar doesn't work. They're opposite. When one do good, the other one's going to do bad. You can pretty much just take that for what it's worth. And Tyler, I just that whole Seattle, it's going to be hit or miss for these guys,
Yeah.
But right now, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, you're starting them again this week, even though they had a bad week.
Yeah,
Because,
you have to.
believe it or not, I thought that was an interesting stat. Your man, Geno Smith of the Seattle Seahawks, was number 1 in the league in completion percentage. And this is in
Number
a league
uno.
with Pat Mahomes and Josh. They didn't have as good a completion percentage as Geno Smith. So yeah, but I mean, granted, a lot of those are coming to tight ends because Pete Carroll loves his tight ends. But hey, again, you're going to fire DK Metcalf up. You're going to fire Tyler Lockett up because because anytime they can go off, especially because when Seattle gets down, this game script was perfect for them. They got an early, decent, not a big lead, but enough where they could keep running the ball. If they get down, Geno starts chucking the ball. Just look at that Saints game. I mean, he was chucking it all over the place, trying to keep up with the Saints. So
Yeah.
but yeah, this one, these receivers are strictly game script dependent. If they're going to get in a game where they are up, Pete Carroll runs the ball. If they are down, they don't mind throwing the ball. So, but I like Metcalf and I like Tyler Lockett. I think they've been a pleasant surprise so far. Just had an off week this week.
Yes. Yep. And we all have that from time to time in our lives,
Yes,
calculator. All right.
absolutely.
So Red Zone. And we thank Red Zone for watching and commenting and hitting that subscribe button and the like buttons and everything. And not only Red Zone, but we thank everyone who does that for us. He has a message here. Hi guys. I need some he basically needs some help with the waiver wire. Want a running back that he needs to pick up and looking out for a calculator. So I know it's a great way to segue into our waiver wire segment. And I'm gonna leave this up so that it'll be right there in your vision calculator as we talk about the waiver wire position,
Mhm.
the waiver wire segment.
Absolutely. Well, if you want to focus, there's really only 2 running backs. Although, if you're in a savvy league, Deion Jackson is not available for you. He is 66% rostered, especially after Jonathan Taylor got the thing. But again, even though he's a waiver wire target, he's not. I wouldn't spend a lot of money on him for the mere fact. First of all, he got hurt. If you want no, Lindsey in there, the guy that was actually Deion Jackson's backup and got a lot of second half work. He's the guy to get for. However, again, the Colts running back is out, but a guy that a lot of people picked up and had a bad week against Tampa Bay dropped. He's only on currently 20% of rosters. Caleb Huntley. Huntley
Ooh,
looked good this week against, yes, the 49ers D line was banged up this week, but Taylor Huntley is the guy people need to be looking out for. D. Williams still nicked up. Don't know when he's coming back. Cordero Patterson, I think he still has at least 1 week because of the IR distinction that they put him on. So Caleb Huntley is going to get you some more things if he's available in your league, because a lot of people did drop him after the Tampa Bay game, because, again, I see him only rostered in 20% of leagues. But those are the only two running backs right now. Running backs are really thin out there. But if you're looking at, but especially on the waiver wire, but if you're a Caleb Huntley a person that needs a running back, he is a guy that you might want to target coming up this week. And hey, let's go to Wan'Dale Robinson. Made an appearance for the Giants, wide receiver. Again, we're going to talk about bye weeks, and some very big receivers are off this week. But Wan'Dale Robinson, only 12% rostered. He was a rookie. He was a preseason. His preseason actually got him on people drafting him near the end of the year. However, he got hurt, so he hadn't been playing. But hey, he looked good against the Ravens. Made an impact, scoring a touchdown. And thing is, he only played 14 offensive snaps. So now that it's kind of when you look at snap share, but you look at production snap share. Well, what's going to go up? His snap share, if he's showing that he's comfortable with running routes. And so if that goes up, what does that mean? Target share. Especially if he's getting touchdowns and doing a lot for the amount of snaps, that's going to go up. So, I like Wan'Dale Robinson a lot going forward, especially, when you people, Slayton, he's just just another guy. I think they call him Jag in fantasy circles. Just another guy. But and then Galladay, you know what he's doing. All he is collecting paychecks. But Wan'Dale Robinson, I like that. And another guy that he's the reverse of Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers gets all the targets, all the catches, but he doesn't get touchdowns. Well, guess who's getting the touchdowns? Tyquan Thornton, wide receiver for the exactly 4% rostered. All right. So that means he's he's definitely under the radar due to injuries. Cause he broke his collarbone, early, first preseason game. Didn't do much when he debuted week 5, but he was a difference maker, because Kendrick Bourne, got, injured on Sunday. But Thornton, 2 touchdowns. And hey, what does him and Zappy, the quarterback for New England, they were backups. So they had a rapport with each other, so it was like, hey, now they both get thrust into Zappy, one of his favorite guys that was, he was getting those second reps with. They had a rapport. And again, get this. Not only can he catch, his combine time, 4.28 40-yard dash. And for those people that don't know much about time, that is very fast. And if you saw his touchdown on that sweep, it looked like he was shot out of a rocket. So that's what they're going to do. They like jet sweeps. They're going to protect their young, inexperienced quarterback with motion. And what's easier than a guy that can just fly down the field on a go route, just throw it to the corner of the end zone and hope your guy will get there before it falls out of bounds. So I really like Thornton. And yes, when we go to the tight ends, yes, he's had a rough year and he is 69%, but I'm going to bring in the Robert Tonyan for the Green Bay Packers. He's 69% rostered, but he broke out this week. And I think a lot of it did with Cobb getting hurt. Aaron Rodgers likes his guys. So, if another guy, Daniel Bellinger, he's available. He's that New York Giants tight end. He finally is getting some play. So and also monitor the reports, because Dallas, he's escapes my for one, has so many names running through, or calculator has so many names running through the head. But that tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, did his thing. So do your filters on Dallas, do tight ends, do the one who had all the catches last week, and he could be a target, because even though Schultz is the man, Schultz was a surprise scratch. I didn't know Schultz was going to be out.
Yeah, he was a last minute scratch.
Last minute, So look at those Dallas, both tight ends, because they carry 2 tight ends. Look at them. And last call on Hayden Hurst as well. I know Hayden Hurst has been picked up in recent weeks, but he is available in 23% of leagues. So last call because he's getting snatched up all over the place. So
Okay. Any other waiver wire?
no, that's it for now. We'll another thing you want to look at is possible. We'll go to bye weeks if you want to look at bye weeks, Mr. 411.
Yep.
You know
Got it
we
going across the bottom.
yeah bye weeks. Burn that in your head, folks. What does that mean? That means Jalen Hurts. That means Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, and most of all, Josh Allen is out. So, hey, I just talked about Zappy for the New England Patriots. He's a
Yep.
Monday night game. Yes, Mac Jones, they didn't put him on IR, so they might want him back. So this could be the time to if Zappy plays. I know Monday night's kind of hard, but he threw for $300 last week, and guess what? He's at home against the Bears. So that is a juicy matchup in my opinion. And then with a Thursday game, Jameis Winston could be out another week. If Andy Dalton's floating on there, he's indoors, he's against the Cardinals. That's not a bad way to go either. Andy Dalton, yes, they have a banged up wide receiving core, but Traquan Smith is back and he looked good. So I like somebody like Dalton to get these guys that because we're talking about waiver wire quarterbacks, people that could be available, and Dak Prescott is back. So the people that have been holding Dak Prescott on their IR and their O spots, he should be back. We always knew it. We're going to wait till Cooper Rush ran the course and lost the game. Once he lost the game, now Dak Prescott's healthy. So Dak Prescott was going to continue being unhealthy as long as they kept winning games. Yeah. So if you've had Dak Prescott in your O spot occupying, now could be the time to fire him up. And hey, Marcus Mariota, he's available in a lot of leagues out there. He loves he's going to get you. He's one of those rushing quarterbacks. The bad thing about the Falcons though, when I talk about Marcus Mariota is they just don't have pass volume. And why don't they have pass volume? Is because they're running successfully. Arthur Smith, the coach for the Falcons, say, hey, if you can't stop my running game, I'm going to keep running the ball. And he does that. I think Marcus Mariota had one incompletion last week. He was just throwing those little quick outs. He finally got a touchdown for Kyle Pitts, but don't get too excited, Pitts owners, because, again, the pass volume is not going to be there for the Falcons. However, this week, Mariota, you could fire him up, I think, playing at the Bengals, what could be a shootout. Marcus Mariota, if it's in a shootout, they're most likely going to throw the ball. And yes, I think Jared Goff is coming back, but I'm not going to start him. And why am I going to start him? He's going against Cowboys. And the Cowboys defense, they feast on bad offensive lines. And unfortunately, Detroit Lions offensive line they're mediocre, but we saw they could sack Jalen Hurts, and the Hurts has the number one offensive line. So I think the Cowboys is going to have a big game because Patriots showed a blueprint on how to stop Goff. So, I wouldn't do that. But if Trevor Lawrence is out there, he's 2 rushing touchdowns. The reason I know that very well is because I'm a James Robinson owner, and I thought those 2 touchdowns was going to go to him, and it didn't. So yes, Trevor Lawrence can get money on the ground, and Zach Wilson, yes, tough matchup next week. But I mean, they are just showing that he can get those little sneaky touchdowns too because he can run.
Yeah.
But he has weapons. Elijah Moore, Corey Davis. I mean, he goes 3 deep. And
you mentioned Breece Hall earlier.
Yeah, Breece Hall. And Michael Carter, who can catch the ball out of the backfield. Conklin at tight end. So if they get, it's hard to believe that they could get in a shootout with the Broncos, but if he has to do anything, he does have the tools to do that. And Garoppolo, he's going against the Chiefs next week. I actually started Garoppolo in one league this year against the Falcons. He did disappoint, but he's back at home. He's against the Kansas City Chiefs. They play that 2 deep zone, and he has the zone busting specialist known as Deebo Samuel and Kittle. So he's got weapons, and if it's a shootout, Garbage points counts like regular points as well. So if the Chiefs get up big, Garoppolo is going to have to throw that ball. So
Okay.
Garoppolo is another guy you might want to get in. Hey, he's a streamer, right? Hey, if you're a Josh Allen owner, if you're a Hurts owner, you just need that 1 week that you need a guy, and those are the guys I like. Is
Okay.
your two main guys, Mariota and Garoppolo, are going to be the
Yep.
two best shots in my opinion.
Well, you said also, potential shootout. And speaking of that, Tim from Jersey, right? He has Mike Williams and Justin
Oh,
Herbert tonight.
that's
And,
Jim from Jersey,
oh,
Mr.
Jim.
Foreman. Jim
Sorry.
from Jersey. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
all right.
I actually spoke to Jim today because he said he was going to type me up a question for Tuesday's show, and I said Jim, I said we're not doing a show for Tuesday, so he said, well, hey, I got a question for tonight. Then I said, so what is it? He said, hey man, what do you think are my chances? He's a little worried. He's down by 49.7, I believe. So he needs pretty much 50 points right on the dot. PPR league. And he says, what are my chances for Mike Williams and Justin Herbert? And at first I said, whoa, man, that's a great combo to have, especially with Keenan Allen being out. My first I'm thinking 50-50, but then it's like he said, I don't feel good. When I told him, yeah, I like your chances, pretty much. He said, oh, but they're playing Denver. And now I had to look at it and say, oh, yeah, if Surtain gets put on Mike Williams, that could limit his looks. Not necessarily, not even, getting a look is what hurts you. However, Mike Williams is the type of wide receiver that can get you the big play at any time. So I say I'm assessing it at 25%. And the reason I say 25% is Mike Williams can get 2 touchdowns. Well, if he's getting the 2 touchdowns, guess who he's getting them from? He's getting them from the quarterback, Herbert. You factor in the yards and you factor in everything else, that could get you to 50 points. However, when you look at it, Mike Williams doesn't have a lot of 2 touchdown games, especially this year, which is surprising because, Denver, they do have that pass rusher, Chubb on the other side that could hurry things. And, Mike Williams does need time for those late routes to develop. So, I'm not saying you don't have a chance. You definitely have a chance, but I'm going to say 20-25% chance. It's enough to watch the game, Jim, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Watch the game and be happy. I've discussed fantasy football with Jim over the past couple years, and he's one of those guys that he don't like to watch the game because he thinks if he watches the game, it brings him bad luck. So then he found out he had the automatic updates on the phone, so he's getting the updates on the phone. So then he says, well, I'm not watching the game, and then I see there's a phone. If there's no update, then he starts getting mad. So he said when the game's on, he just puts his phone away and don't look at it until the game's over with. So
Well, come
Jim
on,
has
Jim.
his own routine.
Yeah, Jim. Enjoy it, and we thank you for your question, and keep all that rolling.
Yes, and anytime you have waiver wire
keep
questions,
hitting up the calculator.
that's right. Hit me up. That's why I said we try to get the information for you. But I do want to give Jim hope, and I'll be because hey, I'm a Herbert owner in 1 league, and I have Mike Williams in 4 leagues. So I will.
Yes,
I glut from punishment, Mr. 4-1. I watch and see what happens because when it happens, it is glorious. So
yes,
I just want to
sir.
say that.
Speaking of glorious, it's time.
I didn't
Last
get
week, calculator.
let me see. Last week, I'm so upset. I missed y'all's show last week because Mr. 401, I got text from Carter's Peanuts and Larry all day Sunday. Larry was one because the state fair is in town in Georgia last week, and Larry said he wanted him a funnel cake for beating Carter's Peanuts. And you know what? Carter's Peanuts said no, but I'm going to eat one for you because Carter's Peanuts was at the fair as that game was going on. And
wow.
when Carter's Peanuts wasn't getting the update on his phone, he knew it was bad. Oh, you got to look. Those reactions were the opposite of what was happening on Sunday. Why unfortunately Carter's Peanuts was riding the Ferris wheel and not getting any updates on his phone, and then Larry, he had the nice smile on his face as a victory for the Copier Bowl. So yes, Carter's Peanuts, you do owe Larry a funnel cake next time you guys meet up.
Yeah,
and Larry will be wanting it.
Yep. So the Copier Bowl champion for 2022 is Larry. Congratulations to Larry.
Congratulations, Larry.
throw the stats up again real quick.
And I
Everybody
believe,
take a quick
yeah,
glance.
and Larry was getting some, some bad luck this year. But look at that Tyler Lockett. Tyler
Yes.
Lockett is why you do not sit Tyler Lockett, because anytime he plays in a game script favorable matchup, he produces in Dallas. Mercy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good as well. But yeah, Larry, congratulations on taking down your nemesis, the infamous Carter's Peanuts.
All right. Well, we're in the hurry up offense, so we need to run through our listener league, and then we got to get our mini draft in.
Okay. See, where's that listener league? Okay, Mr. Producer, if you could throw that league up there, we could go over it.
Great job
Okay.
by the production team.
Thank
All right.
you, Mr. Producer. Yes, as you can see, the calculator suffers another defeat against what will be the highest scoring team of the week, like I did with Lacy, like I do with 401. Anybody I'm on a podcast, I think that's what'll bring Captain Cosmo to the podcast, is because when I play somebody that's on the podcast, they get the highest score of the week. But yes, Camel Clutch, good job. That is for 411. If you want to look at the matchup and see how he defeated me, we prefaced it with the great pickup of, I'm telling you, if it wasn't for pickups 411, I'd be undefeated. TJ Hawkinson took me down 2 weeks ago on a late pickup. Deion
Yes.
Jackson helping to take me out this week. You did your job. Davis got himself a touchdown. Benjamin, I mean, you still got a defense going. I mean, yes, I have two people, but it's Melvin Gordon. It's a flex player and it's a kicker. So I don't, as you can see, Yahoo gives me a 5% chance. And, that is being favorable. But hey,
There's
McKenzie,
still a
I thought
chance.
what I thought would have been the thing. Hey, look what could have happened. James Robinson, 2 touchdowns, robbed. I say robbed because he was on the goal line,
Right.
and Lawrence took it in. McKenzie it did not go the way I thought. I thought 2 deep zone would actually favor a slot receiver, and it did not. So and when you look at the bench players, you look at some of the guys on my bench. I mean, I actually late swapped Marvin Gordon, Deborah Henderson Jr. for Melvin Gordon. The reason I say that is because Malcolm Brown got re-signed for the Rams, so that's kind of worried me on snap share there. DJ Moore hadn't done his thing. Miles Sanders, you never know who's going to get the touchdowns in Philadelphia. So wasn't I could have put any one of these guys in. It wasn't going to make a difference, pretty much. But when your top guy in Jonathan Taylor out,
Yeah.
and Bateman,
Nothing you
who
can do about
I like
that.
to term out. I mean, it is what it is. When your number one player goes out, you're behind the 8 ball from the get go.
Yes, sir.
So, especially when you're playing, which you are one of the better teams in the league. I wish I'd have played, one of the other non-highest scoring teams in the league. There's a lot of teams I could have beat, Mr. 411, when I'm looking at it. But
you
not
got
you.
that top. You got that. You got that championship team scheduled this year. You know what I mean?
So, hey, and that's fine. Yeah, I mean, but hey, I like, it is what it is. So
Any other matchups before we get to the mini draft?
Well, yeah, it looks like C-Town Ballers could go on a losing streak. Eric is hot. I mean, granted, it's a close game, but Herbert. It all comes down to Herbert. If Herbert gets 3 touchdowns, C-Town Ballers will retain first place. If he gets 2 touchdowns and 280 yards, which could be predicted for a tough defense, he will suffer his second loss. But hey, looks like Carter's Peanuts back on the winning trail. He didn't let it get him down. Yeah. Although, hold on, let me see. Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much. And it looks like Lacy is back on the winning trail as well. Congratulations, Lacy.
All right. Well, very good. Okay, we'll keep tabs of the league. And now, calculator, it is time for the mini draft. So as you're getting the draft order together, I'll explain how we do it. We have 4 teams. Lacy is out today. Zach is out today, aka Captain Cosmo, and Mr. 411 team is in here, and the calculator. And what we're doing now is we're spinning the wheel of names to get the draft order, 1 through 4. We'll draft in snake order. Each of us have an individual team. We'll draft 1 through 4, and then 4 through 1, 1 through 4, 4 through 1. We each are going to draft one quarterback, one tight end, one running back, one wide receiver, and we'll use the points in our listener league, which is a PPR league, points per reception league, and the quarterback gets 6 points for a touchdown pass, and the running backs get 0.25 per carry. So if you have a workhorse back that gets you 20 carries, that's 4 bonus points. We try to separate the men from the boys when it comes to the running backs,
Yes.
and also help them out a little bit with the wide receivers and all this passing in the NFL. So that's the way we do it. And now
Yep.
it's time to draft.
Yes. And people were saying, well, how is Captain and Lacy drafting? Well, I'm using default rankings, so they will get the highest ranked person from that position that we will give them. And yes, we do use Yahoo, so that's, let me move that over here because that's going to be the default list. I pulled up the default list, but so I'll use over here. And for Captain, he has the first pick. So he will be getting, usually I give him the quarterback. So I will give him, sorry guys, we cannot use Josh Allen this
Right,
week.
bye week.
Yes. So Mahomes is actually the highest rated quarterback this week. So Captain gets Mahomes. Lacy, we will stay at the quarterback position. She will get Lamar Jackson. He is the second highest. So quarterbacks are off the board, Mr. 4-1. So you can pick anyone you want.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is gonna be tough, man, with the bye weeks and all the players that I like. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
So this is tough. I mean, all my go-to guys are pretty much on the bye week, but I'm going to and I didn't like the way he played this week. You know what? No, forget that. I'm gonna go running back, and I'm gonna go ahead and just go with Saquon Barkley.
Mr. 4-1. That's exactly who I was hoping you wouldn't get.
Oh,
I wanted Barkley
sorry
because,
about
like
that.
you said, workhorse backs are phenomenal in this thing. And I really and another thing we try to do, we also want to tell our listeners that we try not to draft. For example, Jonathan Taylor is a solid pick. However, he is questionable. So
Right.
we're not going to give them to the default people, and I'm not going to take them for that reason. But hey, I got to go with Fournette. I think he's another workhorse
Yes.
back.
Yes.
If you had not taken Saquon Barkley, I'm sorry, if you had not taken Saquon Barkley, he would have been my pick because I wanted a workhorse back, but I don't want Fournette is actually the number 2 ranked quarterback this week. So I knew Captain and Lacy that he would fall to them with one of their next picks. So I had to get him. And I always do the tight end, Mr.
Yes.
4-1, because I always say it's 2 or then none. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab Kelsey for this. So I mean,
Excellent.
I
Excellent.
got to get that tight end on this one. All right, Mr. 4-1.
All right. With all these bye weeks, I think we mentioned some of those teams: the Vikings, the Bills, the Eagles.
Eagles. Yeah,
It was
for
another
people,
team.
that's why the Josh Allen's not on the board. That's why Jalen Hurts is not in a quarterback position yet. That's why I skipped on quarterbacks because after Mahomes is gone, I'm good with a lot of the other guys.
Right. And the Rams, by the way, too.
Well,
So that takes
yeah,
Cooper Kupp out of there.
exactly. So exactly, that's why. And when Mahomes and Jackson went off the board again, I'm fine with any other quarterback after that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I did not spend one of my first 2 picks on quarterback, is because after Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, is really nobody else, in my
Yeah.
opinion, that I would want on my team.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take Andrews from the
Yep.
from the Baltimore Ravens. So I'll take Andrews.
And we'll give Lacy, since there's no wide receivers off the board. I'm going to give her a chance to get the top wide receiver. The top wide receiver this week is Tyreek Hill, and then Captain. Captain gets back to back, so I'm going to give him the next one is Jamar Chase. And then I will give a running back to Captain, and I'll give him his next is McCaffrey.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And since running backs are off the board, Lacy would go tight end here. So the next ranked tight end is actually Kittle. She's going to do Kittle. All right, Mr. 4-1. That brings it up to you. You have quarterback and wide receiver. And I got to take both as well. So either one you take, it's not going to affect. Well, it is going to affect my next pick, but it's not one of those where you can save it for your last pick because I picked them. Me and you have the same positions already. So whatever it's your pick. Quarterback or wide receiver.
This ought to be fun. So I thought about taking Herbert against my Seahawks, especially being at home. But I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson's gone.
Lacy he's gone?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, remember that's why.
That's right.
That's why we didn't go quarterbacks is because the top two quarterbacks were gone.
Yes. Okay, that's right. So I guess I am going with Herbert.
Yeah, you are going Herbert.
I'm going with Herbert against Seahawks. Seahawks on the road.
And I'm glad you did that because Herbert was actually my number 4. If you would have taken this next, because I was going to take David Carr ahead of Herbert anyways. I have David Carr. Love David Carr this week. Put it this way, I have, and I'll give people a backdrop. I have Hurts in 5 leagues this year because I love Hurts. I have David Carr in every one of those leagues. And what I did is I did draft David Carr. You could say I drafted him he was drafted as backup quarterback 2 in a lot of leagues. But I did spend an extra, based on his ADP, I took it an extra week because I looked and I saw ahead of time that Hurts' bye week was week 7. And week 7, Carr was coming off of a bye week playing at home against the Houston Texans. So I got David Carr, and so I'm not. What I believe is not going to miss a beat. And also, I'm going to keep David Carr, even though I don't plan on playing him above Hurts. Hurts is still a running quarterback. Hurts can get hurt. So if you can have a viable replacement for something like that, I feel good in David Carr. So that's why I might have spent a little bit above, but in almost all but one league, 4 of my 5 leagues that I have Hurts, I drafted David Carr specifically for this week.
Okay.
And then wide receiver, Tyreek Hill's off, Chase is off. So I got to get one. I'm going to get Devontae Adams. I'm going to do the double up.
Okay.
He looked really good against the Chiefs. So I think that is, that is going to I like to double up on that. So that's why I'm getting Devontae Adams. So you have to get a wide receiver.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Patriots Monday night. I'm gonna just go out on a limb. Give me the Patriots best wide receiver calculator.
Well, they're well, who's the best wide receiver for the Patriots?
I don't know. Just give me the best one.
Well, okay. Well, I would say Jacoby Myers. I mean, unless you want to go with Thornton, the waiver wire darling. What do you want? Who do you want? Jacoby Myers, who is he's rated to have more points than Thornton, or do you want the high upside with Thornton?
Let's go with Myers. I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Safe route. No, I ain't going out on a limb. That's going safe route. All right, so this Lacy just needs the next running back in the rankings. The rankings I saw had Mixon. He is a high-ranked running back this week going at home against the Falcons. So yes, believe it or not, Mixon is high up there. So I think Lacy got she got a good default. Look at that: Lamar Jackson, Mixon, Tyreek Hill, and George Kittle. Because Kittle, he showed some life this past week. And then so this leaves Captain with a tight end, and the highest tight end, believe it or not, is Pitts, his favorite guy.
He got his guy.
So he waited to the end and got Pitts. And then, Pitts, we had a little thing where if Pitts is out, Waller will be placed in because he's number 5. So if there's any injuries, Mr. Forwan, we do want to preface this. I do get with the producers. I tell the people that there are not going to be any zeros in this. I will go to the default list and substitute. So that's why when we look back, if somebody drafted somebody and they were out that week, now if they get hurt during the game, that's not a case. They have to be declared out before the game before I will go in and put the next default person in the listing. And default listing does change day to day. So I keep my default listing from when we do our draft to also make it fair. So I'm not going to, change something at last minute because, things get updated and so forth. I'm going to go from our default listing as at this time it'll be Monday. There are no shenanigans that go along.
Well, calculator, make sure that the producers send me the list of of all the teams, and we'll post it on the YouTube page. We're down to about 5 minutes. We need to get Randy Miller. We thank Randy Miller for his question. He says, what do you guys think? Rondale Moore, do you think he'll be one of the top 24 wide receivers?
This week? Yes. Oh, it's rest of season. That's what our
rest of season.
Top 24? No. And the reason and it's not that I like his chances this week because I think DeAndre Hopkins, monster target share when he gets back. Zach Ertz is now the number 2 guy in there. And then they're going to try and feed Robbie Anderson some as a new, and Dortch has proven himself. And what I see as a declining skill set almost with Kyler Murray just don't look good. I mean, I'll just straight say it. Some of his passes were off. So Randy Miller, rest of the season, top 24. No, hey, I'm firing him up this week. But as soon as Hopkins, is he coming back this week? Because he was a 6-game suspension, right?
Yeah, he may come back this week.
Yeah. So yeah, hey, this week. But seeing Ertz kind of being the next guy, that kind of puts me down, and especially when it's a team not playing very good rest of the season, I don't see it good. And again, I mean, Rondale Moore, see, and you could say rest of the season because Marquise Brown is out because Hollywood's out. But Hollywood will be coming back in week 12 if they're still in a playoff race. But yeah, unfortunately, I like Rondale Moore this week, top 24. I do not like him rest of the season.
That's it. All right. Well, thank you, Randy Miller, for your questions.
Yes, and keep those questions coming, folks. We love answering questions because we try to help our people out.
That's right. And again, the show is on YouTube. You can go out there and post more questions, and we'll answer them throughout the week and get you ready for your season for the upcoming week. And that's what we love to do. Calculator is a capitalist. He loves for all of us to win.
I want everybody to make as much money as possible, Mr. 411.
All right, Calculator. Appreciate you, man. And guess what? Before we get out of here, there's a special announcement that I like to make. And it's happy birthday to none other than Tyrone K. Jones Sr.
Happy birthday, Tyrone K. Jones Sr.
Yeah, so happy birthday to my pops.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to my dad.
Is he the Eagles fan, Mr. 411?
He is a huge Eagle fan, as you can see right here.
Go. Oh yeah, I bet you he did that right after they closed out the Cowboys this Sunday night. There's his picture right there.
Yeah. So happy birthday there, Dad, and happy birthday to you. He also went to the game last night.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm sure he was happy in that. That's a great birthday present right there.
Yeah. So that was excellent. I know he was very excited about that. So happy birthday, Dad. All right.
All right,
Calculator. We're about to roll out of here. There's one last quick question from Francesco. If you can answer that real quick before we get out.
All right. So, would you use Walker and Lamb? Oh, would you? Is this a trade?
Yeah. Walker and Lamb for Colt.
Cup.
He has Eckler and Breeze and Devontae and Godwin.
So he would upgrade his receiving core. Oh, because he has such a good. Oh yeah, if you could add Cup and you could do that 2-for-1, I would do that. I always like getting the best player in a trade. And yes, granted, Lamb, I see him going forward as good. But think about it. You're not going to use, in my opinion, you're not going to use Walker over Eckler or Brees Hall, in my opinion. So now you can add Cup to that, and then you could put a Devontae Adams at a flex position, or that, or what was the other wide receiver he had?
You had Lamb for Cup. You have
Godwin. So
Godwin,
yeah, so you have
Devontae.
Godwin as a flex play. I mean, that's because let me tell you something. Godwin, I mean,
10
people,
seconds.
Mike Evans, they're scared because of how good Godwin looked last game.
All right.
So,
Well, thank you, calculator. Thank you for all the comments for everybody.
absolutely.
We'll see you
Thank
on
you,
the
everyone.
YouTube page.